concludes our NBA coverage for a couple weeks on this show, man. We're going to start the local hour here on this particular show, as we can see that we got the local hour graphic pulling up here real quick. As we're gonna talk about, unfortunately, Chicago sports here, man. We're gonna get into a little bit of Bears. We're gonna talk about everything going on with the Cubs choke right now. And then we're gonna go into this Bears Broncos game, the game that Jason Goff called the game to test how much you really love football, and the game that I'm calling the Huffball. So we're gonna start off with the sad state of affairs of Chicago sports, where it feels like everything is terrible right now. You got the Bears, who are on the verge of, this time next week, this could be an 0-5 football team. There's a very high chance that this time next week this will be an 0-5 uh football team. David Patolo in the comments says no Cubs slander. You must be new to the show, my friend. They're everybody on this show hates the Cubs more than the devil itself, maybe. So there will be Cubs slander on this show. The Cubs, coming off a terrible month, just got swept by the Atlanta Braves. Now they're going to Milwaukee to try to save their season, and it's really I feel like they kind of, now, Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like they got to sweep these niggas
Yeah, they
because
do.
Yeah. They gotta sweep them, and they need the Marlins to drive some games. And
yeah,
oh
and the
yeah, they
Marlins
they
own the tiebreaker. Marlins own the
yeah yeah yeah
tiebreaker.
yeah. The Cubs are no longer in control of their destiny. They pissed that away when they got swept by the Rockies. They lost the series to the Pirates. They got swept by the Diamondbacks. They fucked that up because about 2.5 weeks ago this time they had a 4 game cushion in the wild card. And now
And
it's
that
it's now they ain't playing the back.
and there's a lot of ways you go from. Of course, we're Cub haters, but David Ross has been getting away with murder for a long time. This bullpen is not good, and we all know you can't win big games, especially playoff style games, with a bad bullpen. And I just really
Hmm.
real like this team this roster has reached this limit. Like, they won a lot of games with someone that they weren't supposed to win because they were on the offensive hot streak, and that's really when it comes to when the air gets crisp and the leaves start to fall and you start to pull out your Oktoberfest beer, that's when we really see the real teams form, and the Cubs are falling off dramatically. So you got that. You got Cub fans on the tailspin. I'm expecting the Bulls to not even be watchable by Dr. King Day. We're not even going to talk about the White Sox and everything they've been going on. I'm already tired of Chris Getz press conferences, and I've only seen one of them.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about them. The only hope right now is we want to be fake hockey fans again. With Connor Bedard, he had a nice preseason game-winning assist last night to help the Blackhawks win. He's the only hope this city has at the moment. So my question to y'all, before we go into the team everybody loves the most, is this the worst Chicago sports has ever been on? We just haven't recently biased.
No, it's pretty bad. We're at an all-time low right now. I think in terms of not just what's actually going on with these teams, but overall morale in the city. For everybody, we all grew up there, and you know how it feels when you got a winner in the city. You see everybody with their gear on, and don't get me wrong, you still see it now. But now when we see each other, it's like a, hey, bro, you watching the game today? It's not.
All
It's not
right.
that same joy. You know what I'm saying? And it's the reason I feel like right now it's at the lowest it's ever been is because we were so hyped for all these teams, especially even with the Cubs this year. Cub fans, they came in with low expectations, but the team started to play well, and it's like, oh shit, we might do it. And now you are where you are now. With the White Sox, we built them up for years about this whole change the game shit, and then it just did a complete 180, and they're just back to being one of the laughing stocks of the league. Bears were the same way. I said it several times. Like, this is one of those rebuilds where it felt like everything was going right. Like, everything we needed to happen was happening. Even with the fucking 4th down conversion by Houston to give us the number 1 pick in the draft. I'm like, okay, shit might be moving the right way. And then, it went completely left. The Bulls are the Bulls. They are owned by the same man that owns the White Sox, so I don't expect shit from them. But I mean, it's unfortunate because we had when Lonzo came in and they built that team around Zoe. When he was healthy, they were the number 1 team in the East. Like, not saying that they would have won a championship, but they would have been much better off than what we've seen lately. So I think in terms of everything and what we're looking for, and it's just the expectations around the city. Outside of the Blackhawks, we don't have much hope. So a lot of teams, everybody's in a real negative mindset, negative mentality. I know some Cub fans are holding on to hope, but that shit is dead. So
It's over.
it's just one of those things where here we are back at square one again, where it's like, what are we gonna do? With every team in the city.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, I feel you 100%. And we're looking at from it's fucked up, but we're looking at the main franchises in the city. We're possibly looking at another firing cycle and another draft of a quarterback for the Bears. We're looking at now, at all three of us are White Sox fans. We sat through 5 years of them being asked for them to rebuild it just to make it to you know uh a wild card series, and then a divisional series against the Astros to get smacked, and now we're already rebuilding that. So you got two rebuilds there. But and the Bears are, this is really year one of the rebuild. Last year was the tear down. So we're, as we can see every Sunday, we're not out of the rebuild phase for the Bears. So we're stuck there. Then you go into the Cubs, and the Cubs right now, um, the Cubs have to me, they have the brightest future just because they have an owner that spends, and they have an owner that'll spend in a division that doesn't spend. So they're close. I'm really interested to see what they do with Cody Bellinger. I personally don't think that he resigns. So I think the Cubs are gonna have to, try to get their big, free agent acquisition or their big player acquisition via a trade. This winter. But the Cubs are the closest because they're yeah, their shit is, they're fried. They're not making the playoffs. They're fried. This weekend is fried. I actually have them losing today. Like, they're done. They look defeated. Um, so then you go to the Blackhawks, and the Blackhawks probably have the brightest star in Chicago. I would say him and Luis Robert, Connor Bedard and Luis Robert, those are probably the two best players in the city of Chicago. But the Blackhawks are going to take time too. But they have something to hang their hat on. When you get, Connor Bedard is one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? When you're able to land, somebody like a Sidney Crosby, like a Connor McDavid, when you're able to get that guy. You know what I'm saying? Then eventually, the success is going to come, and it's not going to take too long. I'm not really a hockey guy, but as I was watching yesterday just to check him out, and he looks like he belongs. Like, he's 18 years old, 19 years old, and he already looks like he's the most dangerous player on the ice. So it's fucked up. It's not recency bias. This is bad. Everything is negativity. We were hanging our hats on on the Bears and Justin Fields, and it's November 29th, and for all intents and purposes, like, if we lose this Sunday, that's it. That's a wrap. We lose this Sunday, is we've lost. We're what is that? 14 in a row, Scott.
yeah, 14.
14 in a row. A loss right there, 14 in a row. We basically, you could take a L on Justin Fields. That's going to be a loss, something that we all got so excited for. This coaching staff, we're going to probably be talking about a new coaching staff. There's going to probably be conversations if you keep the GM. Like, I don't know how I got here so bad, but it's really bad. And the Bulls, like, as a White Sox fan, we already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna give you a little taste. They're gonna give you a Zach Levine and a DeMar DeRozan and a Vooch just to make it seem, like they're fake, they're fake trying, but we know the limitations there. We all have eyes, and we all know what the NBA is, and they're not really, we don't got a star. We don't have a
Yeah,
Giannis. We don't have a Dame. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for many years, I said that Jimmy Butler wasn't a star, and it's come back to bite me in the ass. But we don't even got that. You know what I'm saying? So it's bad, and it's depressing as fuck. Like, to be a Chicago sports fan right now, because there's no hope.
yeah, man. I think you hit the nail on the head, man. With this city, and it stinks because we love our sports. Like I always say, Chicago is one of the best sports towns because it don't really matter what team you're talking about. We go hard, no matter what team it is. When we support, and even went to hot with hockey, like let's be real. The Bears are the kings of the city. When the Bulls are actually good, you can feel it. The Cubs when they're good, the White Sox, they have probably like the smallest fan base out of the city. When the White Sox are good, you can still even feel it. But the Blackhawks went doing that. We saw like a dynasty run. It was 9 years ago coming up that it ended. But just watching Patrick Kane, watching Jonathan Taves, Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, Joe Quenneville, like that was an era. Like, of course, you got the '90s Bulls, but far as success, like they're easily the second best run in Chicago sports. So it's kind of like, especially with all the bad PR they've had recently, where it's kind of like the second championship. Really, that whole dynasty run, it's got a little dirt on it with all the nasty things that's going on off the ice. But I think it's kind of like what you said, Mikey. Like the thing you got to hang your hat on right now is a Connor Bedard. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I know enough to know that this guy's one of them ones. Like, even though it's a preseason game, he's very poised for a kid he's 18. You know what I'm saying? Like when the Blackhawks won their first championship 13 years ago, this man was 5. Like he was 5 years old. Like, that's how young he is. But he had a poise, and I feel like even when you're in a rebuild, if you have a superstar or a perennial or a superstar in the making, it makes it that much easier. Because, like, yeah, we might lose, but we go into the United Center to see Connor Bedard score a couple goals. You know what I'm saying? It'll be kind of like when the Bulls first got Derrick Rose. Yeah, we know these niggas is gonna lose, but D Rose is gonna do something crazy tonight. And that's where, even though the White Sox been god awful, there's been moments where, like, oh, Luis Robert is finally the guy who we thought he was gonna be, and now you just have to hope that the White Sox won't mess it up, even though we know they will. But just all across the board, depressing is the best word to use. It is depressing. There's nowhere to turn. It's like a dirty room. It's an extremely dirty room. There's clothes on the floor. Niggas done left the pieces out on a corner on a table. Niggas ain't throw their beer away. The Chicago sports has roaches. That's what it is right now. Chicago sports has roaches. And even though the Cubs, even the Cubs, even though they tripped, it's curtains, they're not making the playoffs. I thought this was a pretty good season for them. The fans had something to watch. Wrigley was back to being full. People were going to games, and I do believe that Jed Hoyer has a plan. We know the Ricketts are going to spend money, like you said, Mike, in a division where niggas don't spend money. So you have something to hang your head on for maybe something they can take and build this on. The White Sox have no future. I have nothing to say about that team. Like, when I say I'm out on them, I'm out on them. And this is a team that won the World Series on my 17th birthday. I have a very emotional love for the White Sox, but I just can't do it anymore. It's the Bulls are so bad. It's like, it's to the point where if they can just be watchable, like if it can be like a cold night in LA on like January and they're watchable, I'll take that. That's how bad it is. So there's really nothing to hang your hat on. We about to get into the Bears and wrap this local hour up, because I don't even know what to say with the Bears. Say about the Bears at this point. This time next week, I do believe there's a good 95% chance this team is going to be on 5. So I think it's, in the words of Stephen A., it's bad. It's really, really bad. That's exactly what Chicago sports is right now, man. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So let's move on to the beloved, unfortunately. Let's talk
To the
about the
beloved,
Bears.
right?
Let's talk about the Bears, the team that the woman that we wish would stop cheating on us, but she keeps cheating on us and we keep forgiving her. That is
And
what
she
the
keep
Chicago
bringing home
Bears.
some nasty ass diseases,
Yeah,
and the
right.
and you know what I'm saying, and this bitch is burning, and
When
you
we
know what I'm
take her back.
saying, and you go outside to throw out the garbage, and she in the car with your homeboy, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like she just all types of wrong.
All types wrong. Your friends telling you deserve better. What are you doing? That's the Bears, man. But we're getting ready for the Huff Bowl on Sunday. The 0-3 Denver Broncos, who gave up 70 American football points to the Miami Dolphins. What do y'all think now? I put out a clip from 7 Night the Howlers today where I said Kevin Warren need to come down in his bunk suit, and everybody was laughing because y'all know that nigga wears a bunk suit. Let's be real. That's definitely a William Bunk Moreland suit that Kevin Warren be wearing. I say he need to come down and fire somebody. I don't need to be talking or seeing evil flutes if they lose this game on Sunday. I don't care if it's a short week. What do y'all think are the realistic ramifications if and when the Bears lose this game on Sunday?
No, they are zero. Like they will have their jobs headed to Washington D.C. on Thursday. Now, if you lose in D.C., then you may see something. But I think even with the whole tradition thing where it's like, well, we don't fire people in the season. I think they wouldn't do it on a short week. I think they may turn over a new leaf and fire somebody this year. They definitely should, given the fact that with everything we've seen, Eberflus has the worst record of any Bears head coach, in his tenure. I think he's like 3 and
Yeah,
17, 3 and 18,
yeah,
and some
That's
shit
god
like that.
awful.
So
It's terrible.
he's been terrible. So it's not a thing where it's just been hit or miss. He's all misses. And now you're not developing the quarterback that like Jeff said, we've half-assed it as well. Because I think with polls, I was on the fence, but now it's clear as day that he's not in love with Justin Fields. That's not his guy. And as cliche as it is, but when guys get a job, if they didn't draft you, it's a chance. So they could get rid of you. So I think going into this game, well, yeah, this I don't know what else to
Nothing's
say.
gonna happen.
What can we really say? Like, as much as anytime we try to give a prediction and say, oh man, they finally gonna turn over a new leaf, do the right thing, that's not what happens. It's the same shit. So until we actually see it, they're gonna lose and then they're gonna head to Washington DC. That's what's gonna happen. Then those are the realistic expectations.
Mikey, what you
Yeah,
feeling, bro?
I don't. I've been adamant about it in the group chat that I think if changes were to be made, it'll be after the Thursday night game. Um, and even then, like you got to look back at it last year in this Eberflus Pose regime. When did they go ahead and start changing the playbook to cater to Justin's strengths? It was after that, that mini bye. It was after the Thursday night game against the Commanders at the crib. So, I think they're going to use that as a little grace period to identify what they want to do. But they got to do something. I mean, this is a historically bad defense. If for nothing, I mean, we have a quarterback that cannot throw the fucking ball, right? And we're going up against a defense that is giving up like 387 rushing yards. If you cannot run the fucking ball on them, then we just not going to be able to run the ball all season. Like, and that's just where we're at. I don't even expect Justin. This isn't one of them games where I want Justin to have the Mitch Trubisky against, Tampa Bay Bucks 6 air TDs. Like, nah, I think we need to just, what get Justin confidence, just running the fuck out the ball. Run the ball. You know what I'm saying? Run the ball, run it into play action. But the Bears haven't shown they could do that under Luke Getsy, under Matt Eberflus, with Justin Fields. Like I just don't see, how they would make a change going into a short week. Because realistically, who do you trust? We don't even have a fucking defensive coordinator to promote. We're trying to fire the OC, like us as fans, watching it objectively, we want to fire the OC, right? So if we
Yeah.
fire the OC, we can't promote the OC to be head coach if we fire Flus because we don't have one. We can't fire the DC because Flus is now the DC. So what the fuck? You promoting Janoko or you gonna give it to, the special teams coach Richard Hightower? I don't, it's a very, like slippery slope there. I, for one, Scott, you're there, 5, 6 days out the week up in Hallis Hall. I think that the players are already tuned flutes out and they're no longer buying in. And you could just kind of hear it. The messages are not the same. You got one guy going up to the podium talking about, focus, intensity, hits, and then you got, other people saying, we're a long time, we're a long ways away from getting to where we want to go, or talking about, you got a Jalen Johnson like, I'm tired of hearing that shit. I've been here and we just been losing ever since I've been here. So clearly that message isn't getting across. So I don't know what to expect, but a bad game this week. And when in doubt, when we look at Bears Broncos, when in doubt, they got a Super Bowl winning head coach and they got a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I'm gonna lean on the experience on Denver to be like, all right, this is a get right game for us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I think I'm speechless with this thing at this point. Like I'm one of the multiple reasons that I'm happy about. I'm going home next week is one, I need a break, give me my own space again. Number two, I need a break from the Bears. I need a break to not be at these arenas. You know what I'm saying? I understand now. Shout out my brother. My brother said when we were on the elevator, we were getting on the elevator, leaving. No, actually, we heading down to the interview room. No, actually, it was after the game. It was after the game. It was just me, my brother and Adam Johns, and Adam Johns was like, "Nah, this ain't rock bottom." He's like, "It can always get worse. This is the Bears. It can always get worse." And then my brother was like, "I understand now why some media like with fans be saying y'all negative. Like y'all been covering this team longer than us. We already fed up, and it's only been a couple years." He said, "I'm finna be Flo's reader." That's what he said. Like
Yeah.
from here on out, you know what I'm saying? And it wears on you, man. Like I was in Kansas City, like, yo, like, why am I here, bro? Like, first of all, and this is like a rich people problem. Shout out my man Merck on Summer Session said that these are 4-star problems I'm having. The Arrowhead Stadium staff is the worst staff in football that I've run into. I don't understand how you got 10 security guards and none of them niggas know what will call is. I don't get it. Like, what do they tell y'all in these pregame meetings? Like, this should be one of the first stuff. Like, media enters here, and I'm walking around, running around the stadium like I'm Carl Lewis in 100-degree weather around racist fans because I saw. I'm going on a tangent, but the Bears are trash, so I'm going on this tangent. I saw in the tailgate, the food smelled amazing because Kansas City's known for their barbecue. I saw 2 tailgate tents, nothing but hip hop music coming from. I'm talking about hardcore hip hop music, and I saw a Trump 2024 flag in one of them tents playing Meek Mill, and I saw a Confederate flag in the other tent playing Lil Jon, and that just really just kind of solidifies everything. They love black culture but don't love black people. And so all this is going through my head. I finally get to the game, and this game is over. And in the first quarter, So if the only bright spot to me was I got to actually meet and talk to my favorite player, Patrick Mahomes. That was the only bright spot out of that game. And I took from that whole entire trip was I actually got to ask my favorite player a question and then be able to chop it up with him after the interview. So that's just pretty much where I'm at with it. I don't know what the score is going to be on Sunday. I'm not going to predict the score. I can see it going a multitude of ways. I can see the Bears starting off really, really well and having great offensive performance, and then the defense, as historically bad as it's been since Eberflus has been there, gives the draws up. I can see Russell Wilson coming out and looking like the Russell Wilson of old. I can completely see that. I do know that the Broncos going to put up points, and honestly, the Broncos haven't been bad scoring the football. Like that has not been the issue. And Mikey, I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit. You said you don't need the 3 touchdown whatever game. I need it because this defense is god awful. They let Mike White score a couple touchdowns on them. So no, I need to see it. If Justin cannot put up points on this defense, there is no hope. There is no hope whatsoever. And I think 2 things can be true at once. There's a couple things that can be true at once with this football team. One, yes, I do not feel Justin is being coached right. I do believe if he was in another team, he would be playing a lot better. But at the same time, this man has been huff. He's been
Mm-hmm.
huff. He's been worse by Mitchell Trubisky by a wide range. Like it's honestly not even close. Like you said, like in the group chat, he's pulling up the Jamarcus Russell territory. It's been that bad. So if he can't put up points against defense, against his defense, it's over, dog. It's a wrap. And I think they're gonna lose to Washington no matter what happens on Sunday. I think best case scenario is 1-4 by this time next week. I just think that's how it's gonna roll. But I said I wanted Kevin Warner to fire somebody. I don't think that's gonna happen. I do think that if they do go on 5, they'll buck tradition and get rid of somebody, even though that doesn't make me feel any type of comfort. Because yes, they'll let go of Matt Eberflus and we'll just have Luke Getsy coasting for the next 12 games. So to me, there's really no win here, man. But
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Kevin Warren has the authority to make that decision? Do you think he's empowered to make that decision? Kind of like how Jason Goff was saying, like, I just got here out, I don't know if how much time I want to put in, invest in cleaning up everybody else's fucking mess. But Kevin Warren just entered into a fucking trap house, like you said, with there's blunt wrappings there's blunt guts on the floor, there's leftover, pizza boxes on the floor, and he's got to clean it up. But does he got the authority to go ahead and remodel that apartment, or does that still got to go up to Georgia, and are they still going to follow those traditions? Because we don't hear from him
yeah.
unless he's talking about the stadium. We don't hear from Buddy, so I felt like it was the perfect time to hear from him during the Allen Williams shit. So how bad does it have to get for him to come down and like actually, you know what I'm saying, like assert himself?
Well, well, of course, the Bears are weird. The Bears treat us like we're the CIA. The Bears don't tell us anything. In fact, they still really haven't addressed the whole Allen Williams situation. So, from everything that I know, yes, he has full autonomy to do whatever he wants. He has full control over the football operations. This is something that was brought up in this press conference. So, this is just what's being said. This is the Bears. All that could have changed. Maybe George still needs to give the okay. I don't know, but from what I know, from what I everything that I understand, he has the authority to do what he wants. But I think the problem in this situation is who we still don't know who's running the show, and like Kevin Warren's been absent. We haven't heard from him. We ain't heard nothing from this dude. Like, I've heard stuff from people I know and in other media spaces in Chicago about how he feels about the situation. But we have not seen this nigga. I have not seen Kevin Warren since like training camp, so I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going off what I know, and I think he does have that. But I don't know, man. I'm tired of talking about this football team every week. Like honestly, I don't even have it in me to talk about rebuilds. If it was up to me, if it was in a perfect world, they would win decisively um against Broncos, beat Cleveland. I mean, beat Cleveland, beat Washington. Justin starts to look like he knows how to play the game football again.
they're
Because
they're entering quote unquote a winnable stretch of games. Like
yeah,
but the thing is, they haven't shown us anything on
nothing.
defense.
Yeah,
The only thing you can hang their hat on all phases is Cairo Santos is still kicking field goals. You know what I'm saying? He's still good through the uprights. But outside of that, they haven't given us any hope for us to say, oh yeah, they could. If they get this one, they could rattle some off because they have a winnable stretch of games. We thought would be winnable, but they really do in this current situation. You got the Broncos, you got the Commanders, you got the Vikings, and then you got the Raiders. Those are
yeah,
all very winnable games, but they haven't shown anything that would lead you to believe that they're capable of it.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. And it's just it's a dark time. Like I told Jason Golf, like I said on Twitter, I even told my mama this last night. Like, I have been a Bears fan my entire life. I have seen so many bad teams, like, but this is the worst. And I feel like we're really not going to get the answers or clarity we want until the season's over. And considering the season just started, that's a long way for Bears fans, because we could sit up here and talk about, oh, if they lose on Sunday, they're going to have officially a 50% chance to land the number one pick because of their situation and because of Carolina's situation. They might have an amazing chance to not only Caleb Williams, but you can also get Super Mob. That's an amazing two guys to get to kind of, restart everything. But if you don't have the proper infrastructure in place, those are just going to be two more victims in a long list of Bears offensive graveyards. Like, there's
Hmm.
so much stuff that needs to change for me to believe this is going anywhere. And even if, let's just say, and I believe Ryan Poles needs to go too. I don't think he will, but I think he needs to go as well. Let's just say that everything let's say we get what we want, right? Let's say Kevin Warren comes down in that bunk suit, goes scorched earth, and by the end of the season, everybody's gone. Poles all the way down, and he brings all his guys in. Until I actually go a year and a half with seeing productive results, I'm not getting excited again. I'm not doing that again, because
Preach.
Caleb, as talented as he is, he looks amazing. I mean, tomorrow, he's got Jay-Z's gonna be there. Jay-Z's leaving his wife's tour to come see Caleb. You're gonna see LeBron's gonna be there. All
Tom
the celebrities.
Brady,
Tom Brady's gonna be there to see Caleb go up against Shador and the Colorado Buffaloes. It's gonna be a sight to see. And as negative as I've been, I get flashes of seeing a deep pass from Caleb Williams and Super Bowl. That'll be fun to watch. But until we get the infrastructure, it's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream right now as a Bears fan. And it's sad to say, because as crazy as Bears fans are, we're obsessed with this team. And, we can get, I look at the 79th and Palace mentions every day. There's a lot of bad apples in there. But at the end of the day, even the most annoying fans are passionate. We love this football team, and this fan base doesn't deserve that, man. And I'm just kind of like, they have defeated me. I am a broken man. I am only going to these games for professional gain. That is the only reason I am doing this thing at this particular point. So once I saw Eddie Jackson with his phone on Wednesday, I was like, and I knew, oh, my man ain't playing. Like you said, Mikey, this is going to be a career game for Cortland Sutton,
Sutton,
for
for Marvin Mims Jr.,
Marvin
Jerry
Mims Jr.
Judy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
We're
finna
gonna
get
see
all
we're
their
gonna see
stats up.
that patented Russell Wilson Moonball. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna get
man.
ugly.
You gonna see a lot of Sierra in the press box. You gonna see a lot of that. We gonna see a lot of that on the timeline, man. I expect to be leaving Soldier Field once again with another loss, man. So unless Dante had anything else to say about this mess, we're gonna go to my Goofy Mog of the week. So that's all we got on that. So we're gonna go to my Goofy Mog of the week, man. I actually got a double Goofy Mog of the week, a 2-for-1. One, I'm gonna go with the Taylor Swift coverage by NFL Media. I'm not mad at the coverage from non-NFL outlets because, and I want to say this to my people. When I mean by my people, I mean my black people out here. Stop acting like Taylor Swift is a regular white girl. Okay, we got to stop that right now. Even though I am not a fan of her music, you could put a gun to my head right now and tell me name one, not even two, name one Taylor Swift song and you live. I'm gonna be joining my nigga Pac. That's how much I do not know about her discography. Having said all of that, I know how big of a celebrity she is. I saw her up front center on Sunday. Her security looked like they wanted to throw me out of that arena like Jazz because I had my phone out. Trust me, I had my phone out because I was checking my text, not because I wanted to take a picture of this white woman. I could care less about her and Travis Kelce. I'm tired of the coverage from NFL outlets. What are we doing? It is week 4. We are the first quarter of the season over, and we got Adam Schefter, we got Ian Rappaport, we got Tom Pelissero, all these guys I respect. I even got a chance to meet Ian Rappaport during training camp this year. Why are y'all reporting what kind of wine Travis Kelce is ordering at one of the 2 restaurants that's even open at 10 p.m. in Kansas City? Like I don't need to know about all that. Like it's overload on the coverage from NFL outlets, and it's gotta stop. It's gotta stop. It's annoying. I don't want to hear about it no more. And the fact that we're gonna hear about this all on Sunday, it just annoys me. And I want NFL coverage to get back to NFL coverage. I want to hear about 2 amazing players, one Hall of Famer and Shannon Sharp, and one really, really great wide receiver in Ocho Cinco, spending 20 minutes talking about this. I don't want to hear this on Rich Eisen's show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pat McAfee. Them, they're the only ones who actually make fun of this situation. Everybody else, y'all really be serious with the analysis, and it's got to stop. So that's my first Goofy Mog of the week, giving it to NFL Media with the coverage of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. That is my esteemed guest host, my esteemed co-host Mikey brought up. You Cubs announcers getting mad at Ronald Acuna Jr. for the amazing feat that he accomplished just 2 nights ago. I think it was 40 home runs, 70. Mikey, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, 40 home runs, 70 stolen bases.
40 home runs, 70 stolen base. They gave this man a round of applause, gave him a moment, showed a little clip, and they're like, it's ruining the game. First of all, you niggas was gonna lose anyway. Number 2, this is stuff we have not seen. And not only that, you were on the road, bro. They can do whatever they want in their home arena. This is their star, this is their mega star. This is the guy who is going to lead them probably to their second world championship in like 3 years. He's able to do that. Well, Ronald Acuna Jr. has done amazing. My man Mookie made it a nice conversation for about 48 hours until Ronald came down and knocked down all the El Pollo Locos in Los Angeles and let niggas know what time it is. But they're out there crying about it. It's very boomer like, and have some shame. I think we need to bring shame back. We need to bring shame back, not only for this, but just for a lot of stuff we saw in sports media this week with the Taylor Swift thing, with Rick Fox wanting to be Brittany Renner's body number 36, with
Nasty.
Shannon Sharp even interviewing her in the first place. Like, it's just been have some shame. Shame 2024 is what I want to bring back. Bring shame back because y'all are losing your minds, man. So that is my 2-for-1 Goofy Mog of the week.